Hi gamers, whether you are new to Final Fantasy XIV or have been playing for a while and are just finding Dawn Trail more challenging than previous expansions, playing an MMO can be stressful. Not only is playing with other people and the worry of being judged inherently stressful for some players, but adding the extra challenges of difficulty or being new and not sure of what to do can seem overwhelming. And honestly, I was there. Being anxious or stressed about completing group content meant I never even unlocked trials or raids that weren't necessary to advance the story. I was terrified of doing anything out of my comfort zone, and that was so limiting. I didn't get the opportunity to even try things before believing I couldn't do them, and I had no idea what I was missing out on. And honestly, when you're missing out on so much content, it's easy to get dissatisfied or to give up entirely because you think you're just not good enough to play the game. So I wanted to give everyone in a similar situation the tips and tricks I used in your position to start branching out and completing new content. Look, I understand that these tips aren't for everyone, that it's easy to talk about getting over fears and anxieties, but something completely different to do it. But I believe in you. And if you want to join a community of people who have been in your position or who love helping people complete new content and improve their experience with the game we love, the links to my Discord and free company are in the description below. I'm Debbie, and here we go. Macros are your friend. A lot of people have experienced starting a new job in real life or being asked for directions in some place you're new to or just visiting. Your first response naturally is to let the person know you're new. You have very few answers and are still learning yourself. You'll do your best to help, but you want them to be understanding of your limited knowledge and to appreciate your attempt. So it makes sense to do the same thing in a game. But that's a lot of information to communicate in the few moments at the start of a dungeon or raid before things get going. This is where macros become your friend. If you've never used macros before, you can find them in your User Macros menu in your settings. There are two tabs, one for the individual character and the second is shared for all characters. You can assign a hotbar button, name it, and then have it do something like share a message in party chat with /p or alliance chat with /a. Let your party know you're new to the game or new to healing or tanking or to the content in general. Let them know you'll try your best but are open to suggestions or any help they can give. Once you complete it, you can assign it to a hotbar slot so you can click it quickly at the start of the dungeon. I have found that even a quick little message like, "Sorry, I'm a new healer, but I'm going to do my best. If you have any suggestions, I'll be happy to hear them." Or, if you're not so keen on feedback, "I'm new to healing but learning. I appreciate your patience and understanding," can completely change the feel of the party. At worst, no one says anything for the dungeon and just powers through. But most often someone, or multiple people, say no problem and just cheer you on, unless there's a mechanic or issue that you need to know about, and then they might preemptively tell you. Or if they see an issue, they might give you a gentle reminder about a skill or ability you may be neglecting. The same with being new to content. If you ask, "Please let me know about any mechanics that might not be obvious," someone will usually type out anything you need to know in chat when you approach it. It's a great way to break the ice, let everyone know that you're doing your best, and not maliciously playing poorly or half paying attention. When I started to realize the potential that macros had to communicate these things swiftly and effortlessly as hitting a button, it greatly relieved my stress. And eventually I just got to the place where I'd forget to hit the button, things would go well, and I'd realize it wasn't as bad as I was afraid it was. So if you find yourself worrying about what others might be thinking, this might help. Take advantage of Squadrons, duty support, and trusts. All three of these things are different from one another, and each has their own pros and cons. At the end of the day, they're all ways to complete content with NPC characters instead of other players. This gives you the chance to take a look at a dungeon for the first time at your own pace, to practice healing or tanking if you're anxious about it, or to get through something quickly if you don't have the time to wait for a duty finder queue to pop. If you're wondering which might be best for what you need, here's a bit of a breakdown of each. Squadrons. Squadrons are the original NPC party. You gain access to them through advancing in your Grand Company, and there is a whole system dedicated around them. I'd love a Squadron update in 2025 because I really enjoyed working with it back in the day. You can have up to 8 Squadron members, and you can recruit them through completing entries in your challenge log. There are a limited number of squadron applicants, so you may see the same ones more than once, but there are seemingly rare ones that only appear every now and again, wearing strange costumes or with incredibly unique names or appearances. So you can customize your team however you want, switching out members as you recruit ones you'd prefer to have. You have to level up your team in order for them to complete higher level dungeons. They can level up to level 60. They can complete command missions, where you run through a dungeon with them, or squadron missions, where you send them out on their own to complete timed missions for loot or experience, like ventures. Their chemistry determines what extra rewards they can get upon completion, and if you meet the requirements of their chemistry, the rewards are guaranteed. I could go on forever with how to maximize your squad, get the best chemistries, max out weekly rewards, and work on mastery. But that is absolutely its own video. What you need to know to run dungeons with your squad is this. Choose your team. You have to have 1 tank, 1 healer, and 2 DPS just like a standard light party. Click deploy and enter the dungeon. Squadrons have the ability to become superpowered, but at the beginning they're going to be dumb. You are given a toolbar of orders to help you in the dungeon. Clicking on an enemy and then clicking deploy will order your party to attack that enemy. This prevents you from having to attack first and take aggro, which is good, because just like duty support and trusts, if you die, you immediately go back to the start of the dungeon. Likewise, retreat will cause your team to pull back to your location. And the special limit break is a bit different than the regular one in that it increases the damage of the entire party for a brief time after it goes off. If you invest the time, curate your party, train them, and get their levels up, squadrons can be a great way to run dungeons regularly for loot, wondrous tales, challenge log, or whatever else when you don't feel like playing with other people. On the downside, they don't start great, the AI is rather crappy, and they don't follow mechanics, and it takes a lot of investment into them to get them to the point where they can run things quickly and efficiently. It's a labor of love. Duty support. Duty support, on the other hand, is completely the opposite. You click on duty support, click on the dungeon you need, and your party is ready to go. That's it. You enter the dungeon, and though the party hangs back waiting on you to leave, you have no control over them whatsoever. They just do their thing. The AI is pretty good, they do mechanics so you can sometimes just follow what they do and succeed, and they will get the job done. The downside is that they're a bit slow due to a lower DPS, and there's nothing you can do about it. A dungeon, any dungeon, will take about 25 to 30 minutes. No more and no less, ever. If you go in and pump as much damage as you can, they will just lower the damage they do to maintain the balance. They are dependable, good at what they do, but paid by the hour, and damned if they will try their hardest for minimum wage. If you just need a guaranteed clear first time, this will probably be your best bet. As well, the number of dungeons and even trials available with duty support is far greater than squads or trusts. The goal is that most content will eventually be available through duty support. Trusts. A love baby, trusts have some of the best and worst qualities of the 2 previous put together. Like duty support, trust characters are preset and you can't change them, although you do have the ability to select between them. They will hang back and let you take the lead, though most of them won't try to do mechanics until you do. I'll explain in a second. And like the other 2, if you die, which will definitely happen if you take a couple of hits with some vuln stacks, everyone goes back to the beginning. Like squadrons, however, you have the ability to level up your trusts. Though you can force them to do whatever content you want, within the last 3 expansions, you can play with their avatars, which level up as they complete dungeons. Getting levels on your trusts can unlock new outfits for them and titles for you. And like squadrons, they don't play dependably. Trust avatars are subject to some of the personality traits of the scions they represent. Thancred will sometimes ignore mechanics entirely. Alphino will let you die if Alizé is in danger. Alizé will pop that LB the second it comes up, so forget about ever using it yourself if she's in the party. The more often I play with trusts, the more of their little foibles I notice in how they play. It's endearing and incredibly frustrating sometimes. But like duty support, the average dungeon length will never change and they'll take about the same time every time to clear a particular instance. Once you decide which system works best for you, or if you use all 3 depending on your mood or what you need to do, These systems can greatly reduce stress by giving you alternate avenues to clearing content for the first time, practicing on a new role or class, or just to play on your own if your social meter is full and you just can't bring yourself to use the Duty Finder. When in doubt, use Party Finder. I made the mistake of completely avoiding the Party Finder function with a passion when I was a new anxious player. It seemed so complicated and intimidating, I felt I was just way out of my league. But the Party Finder can be a stressed player's best tool. The benefit of using a Party Finder is that you can recruit players for specific content and add notes so everyone is aware of what you were looking for before they ever join the party. For example, here I want to do my leveling roulette, but I'm afraid of going in blind because I'm new and I don't want to upset anyone because I don't know mechanics or might make a mistake. I can select Duty Roulette, set the objective to completion, and check the sprout, letting others know that new players are welcome. Then I can leave an appropriate comment describing the situation. In this case, I'm a new player looking for party members who are understanding to help me complete duty. I don't have to make any other changes to this before hitting recruit, but if you did want to form an invite-only party or limit recruiting to your own world, you could. Just be mindful that the more limited your party, the longer it may take to fill. Once you hit recruit members, people can join your party instantly as long as there is an open space. It is considered best practice to, once all spots are filled, go to your party menu and hit Ready Check to give everyone a chance to let you know they are ready to go. And then you would go into your Duty Finder menu and register for the roulette. If you hit it off with your party, you can ask them if they have time to do any other roulettes, or else you can thank everyone for their help and disband. It's a good way to meet friendly people and get content done. Party Finder is particularly useful for trials or raids that you've had problems clearing in the past, or that take a long time to queue in Duty Finder. You can adjust your comments and the objective to suit your own needs or concerns. When you begin to realize that Party Finder isn't a raider's tool, but rather a giant classified ads page for adventurers, it becomes a lot less stressful. Sometimes when people know what they're getting into before they click on a party, they're all the more patient, helpful, and willing to invest the time to get you what you need. Do casual content for a while to get comfortable. Finally, the last advice I can give someone who is looking to reduce their stress and anxiety in Final Fantasy XIV is to sometimes take a break from doing MSQ, new dungeons, or raids, and play some casual content instead. Have you tried gates, chocobo racing, gathering or crafting, fates, leaves, treasure hunts, deep dungeons? Some people may consider it fluff, but in my experience, the more time you spend in-game, even if you're not challenging yourself, you're becoming comfortable with it. And increasing your comfort is, naturally, great at reducing stress. The more time you spend with your character, the controls, and communicating with others outside of a high-pressure setting, the more you're building the world around you into a safe and comfortable space. If there's casual content you've been thinking of trying but have been focused entirely on the MSQ because you've been told you need to, maybe take time to give it a try. Don't let it distract you entirely from progressing the game and unlocking more content, but let it be a sufficient break from the grind and a chance to enjoy the game instead of pushing yourself through it. And finally, make sure to take care of yourself. Prioritize self-care, remember to get up, stretch, eat and sleep regularly, set realistic in-game goals, and find supportive communities to help you through it. Free companies, link shells, and even Discord channels exist entirely to help new or anxious stressed players through the game. If you're having difficulty finding one, check out my links in the description. If you are or were a stressed or anxious Final Fantasy XIV player, let us know in the comments what strategies you used to get more comfortable with the game and to start doing content you thought was beyond you. Thank you so much as always to my patrons and channel members. You can join them for as little as $2 Canadian a month and have your name on the screen during the end of all of my videos. 2024 was a bit mean to me health-wise, so every dollar really helps me catch up on bills and set my kitchen to accommodate my new gluten-free lifestyle. Shout out to other celiacs out there, it's definitely an adjustment. Thank you so much for watching, gamers, and I'll see you in-game.